who thinks that he made no difference in life. All right? When he's a young boy, he saves his brother out of falling in an icy lake. Later on, as he gets older, there is a doctor who has just got a message about his son was killed in the war. And he fills this prescription, which is the wrong prescription. And little George Bailey sees it, and he never delivers the prescription because he knows if he delivers it, the child is going to die that he's supposed to deliver it to. And then he came back and the guy beat him down because he didn't deliver it. But then he realized he did the right thing and saved and loved the boy. So when he gets married, all he wants to do is leave his town. He just wants to leave his town of Bedford Falls. All he wants to do is leave Nairobi, get out of town, right? See the world. But what ends up happening is that the bank is having trouble. There's a Great Depression in the United States. So he takes all of his money so the people in his town don't go hungry. He gives his money that he was going to go on his honeymoon to the people who were his clients at his bank, so they can eat. Then later in his life, he wants to go off to college. And he doesn't go off to college, but he stays behind because his dad got ill to run his business. All George Bailey ever wants to do is leave Bedford Falls, is leave his town, is to leave Nairobi. He just wants out. What ends up happening is his uncle, who works with him in the business, makes a mistake and misplaces some money. And then there's a very evil man in the town that wants to take over everything, and he sees the mistake, and he takes advantage of this person's mistake. And George Bailey, the guy who's given everything to everybody, he gets so caught up, and he thinks, you know what? This old man who wants to take over the town, the evil man, tried to hire him, and he said no. And he says, you know what, George Bailey, you have a life insurance policy. You're worth more dead than you are alive. So George Bailey starts to think about it. He has 3 beautiful kids. He goes on Christmas Eve to the bridge over the river in his town. And he's standing up and he's crying and he gets ready to jump into the river. But what happened is, he sees somebody else jump in the river first. So instead of killing himself, he jumps in to save somebody else. And what that person was an angel. It was a guardian angel. His name is Clarence. And so as George begins to figure it out and realize that this is an angel, and this angel was here to show George what his town was like if he never lived. Because George thought he never did anything good. So what this angel did is he took George and he said, we're going to take you back to your town of Bedford Falls, and let's see what it looks like if you never live. Because you know, when we live, we don't know the difference between living and everything. We see it. So the town is named after the evil man, Pottersville. Everything is different. There's sin, there's debauchery, there's all of these things that are evil. The people that were good in this good town are now living in the hell. Many people have died. So, in the end, George Bailey, who all he wanted to do was leave town. And when they misplaced the money, the government was going to throw him in jail. But when the people that he helped in his community realized what had happened, the money was lost. Everybody came to his aid and started giving money, kept him out of jail. And George saw the footprint that he had on his town and in his world. Because think about it, George Bailey saved his brother's life when he was a kid, remember that? And then his brother saved an entire ship in World War II and saved, I think it was 100 men, something like that. If George hadn't saved his brother, those 100 men would have died because his brother wasn't able to save them. The footprint that you leave, the actions that you make now, you have no idea how it's going to affect somebody on the other side of the world. But it does, and it will. And you'll never know And when you have so much homework that you've got to study for, you're hungry because all your food ran out, and you don't know if you're getting kicked out of your house or not, you're making a significant difference in people's lives that you'll never meet. Because when you touch that child touches somebody else after they become a pilot or an engineer. And then they'll touch somebody else. I'm going to read one more quick thing, and then I'll let you go because I know you've had a long day.